fam, it's your girl and I'm back for another banger. Today's gonna be a little different because I decided instead of creating a PowerPoint and teaching and training and going over content that we've already went over, I have over 200 videos now for you guys to tap into and watch on this YouTube channel. Yes, for sure. So if you're watching on another social media platform, head over to the YouTube channel because that's where all the long form and the training videos are. So as you guys know, I did not do boot camp for the last month and I won't be doing it for about another month and a half, but I want to tell you why. I've went hard on creating a course that is for my people by me. I've been thinking long and hard about all the things that make people want to tap in, learn, to kind of dive into information, to keep their interest in all of the above. And I know courses can be boring. It's not something anybody looks forward to doing. I doubt if any of you leave work and say, oh my God, I cannot wait to get home and jump into that course. It just ain't what we do. No, we want to be able to learn the information, but we want to be able to learn it in a nice, fun, enjoyable way. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna tap into my course and I'm gonna hit on one of the sections that it doesn't matter if you're testing in the big 2026 in the beginning or you're testing after the changes in August. It doesn't matter when you watch this video, this is going to be relevant. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and without further ado, I'm gonna show you exactly what it looks like when you study and you retain the information. So for all of you out there studying and you're like, man, I got the information, but it's just not sticking. I hear that a lot. So as you can see, as I'm sharing my screen, I'm in the admin. So I have access to the LMSW as well as the LCSW content as it pertains to the test prep. But what I'm gonna do right now is we're gonna dig a little bit deeper in. As you can see, I'm sharing my screen. I'm making it hella large so you guys can see it. So I don't wanna hear anybody say, oh my God, it was so small. Yes, I made it large. So here we go. We have the Elite Self-Paced course. A lot of you are maybe in the older version, but if you're in the new form and you're testing after August, then this is the platform that you should be in for sure. Reach out to me, my support team. If you purchased before, we are doing a small upgrade fee depending on where your purchase point. So you can go ahead and level up and get into this program because I'm telling you, it is what it is, but we locked in and this is going to definitely give you what you need. So as you can see, you could be in study mode, mock exams. We got 2 full mock exams in here as well as some flashcards and all that stuff, but I'm not here to show you the course. If you want to look at that, check out another YouTube video where I walk you through the whole course and show you everything that's in it. Right now, what we're doing is we're focusing on the area that seems to be what's most pressing and most relevant in this upcoming exam, as well as the current exam, and that is ethics. Yes, ethics. So as you can see, I broke down value and ethics into 12 sections. This is area 1. It's about 35 to 36% of the exam. So yes, you need to know this information for sure. So I'm gonna show you what I would do if I was you and I was trying to study. We know we got professional values and ethics, confidentiality, professional development and use of self, ethics and assessment, diagnosis and treatment planning, heavy hitting. We also have some module reinforcement activities. We have some additional ethical tools. We have some case studies. Again, remember guys, I'm showing you the admin version. So some of this stuff, if you're LC, you're gonna see the case studies and you're gonna see these topics, technology, AI, ethics, and clinical practice if you're LCSW, but if you're LM, it's just gonna say technical AI and ethics. So it is broken down and it is a little bit different based on the course and content. These are some new changes in the 2026 exam that are relevant. So you need to understand and know that. We also have some clinical ethics in the LCSW practice, transference, dual relationships, documentation, all of that stuff, mandatory reporting, billing at the end of life practice, all of these things are topics that we need to know. But what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna tap into the NASW Code of Ethics. As you see, I click the tab and now I'm going to go deeper into this section right here. So if you want to hear it, some of you are on the road, you're driving, you're in your car and you're taking the course, you might wanna just go ahead and tap the little, the microphone down here. You might just wanna listen to it.
Module 38. And NASW Code of Ethics.
All right, so if you want to hear it read to you, then you can actually do that. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to walk you through what I would do if I was studying, how to get the most out of it. And we're just going to do this maybe in a 15-minute study session. Maybe you got 15 minutes to lock in and study. And you're like, what should I do? What can I do? So I'm going to go ahead and break down this ethics section, give it to you the best of my ability, and see if you can lock in, see if it makes sense, and see if it's helping you on your test prep journey. So looking at this information, ethics is one of the most critical areas of study when it comes to the ASWB exam. It gives you a strong understanding of the principles. It serves not only on test day, but all throughout your social work career. You gotta know the ethics. The Code of Ethics is the backbone of our profession. There are a significant number of exam questions that directly or indirectly relate to ethical standards, and it's all gonna be outlined in this code. So in this lesson, I'm gonna provide you a detailed overview of the code. We're gonna focus on areas most likely to be tested on the exam. So this is what I'm gonna do. The foundation, we know there's 6 core principles. Now you can read all of this and go through it, but remember, you're stuck for time and you only have 15 minutes. So that's why I'm showing you the quicker way to do this. I'm gonna look at the core values. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna get my handy dandy notebook. I'm gonna get a note card, a pencil, a paper, and I'm gonna write this out. I'm gonna say service, social justice, dignity and worth of a person, importance of human relationships, integrity, and then last but not least, competence. So I know those are the 6 core values. That's what I'm writing down on a sheet of paper. 6 core values, I'm gonna write down those 6 points. And then I'm looking at the ethical principles and I'm like, okay, when it comes to service, what is the ethical principle there? Is that social workers' primary goal is to help people in need to address social problems. Social justice, social workers, we challenge injustice. So I'm gonna write these little key points next to it. Dignity and worth. I'm gonna put respect in here and dignity and worth of a person, importance of human relationships, recognize the essential importance of relationships. Like I'm just writing down the little points just so when I go back to my note card later on, after I finish writing and studying this information, I'll go back later on, maybe if I have another 15 minutes and just go over the information to make sure it's sticking to my brain and is locking in. That is what I would do. Then I would look at, okay, integrity. Integrity is social workers behave in a trustworthy manner. We all know integrity means that doing the right thing even when no one else is looking. So obviously when it comes to integrity, we want to make sure the social workers have that. So that is what, guys? Yes, a core value right here, core value. So we got the core values, we got the ethical principles. And it's saying that these principles are not just abstract concepts. They are ideals that guide us through the action that every social worker should take. So when I'm taking this exam and I'm presented with these scenarios, I need to understand how these values apply. What I'm realizing is that a lot of you guys know these codes, you know the ethics, you know the core values, but you don't know how to apply them. That is when it comes, that is where the application and the reasoning piece comes. So when people are saying, oh, the exam is going to be so much easier, I don't know about easy. If you can't reason and you don't know how to apply the knowledge that you have, you're going to struggle regardless which exam you take. So it's really, really important to lock in and understand those key concepts and how to apply it in the situation. So what I do differently than most courses, probably not most, but I will actually say all courses, is that I actually teach you how to put these principles in action. So this is an example, guys, of a study view. Those of you who are just jumping into this video like, I don't know what she's talking about, I'm showing you how I would use my course platform to level up and pass this exam if it was me and I was studying in the big 2026 and beyond. All right, so I'm looking at these 6 core values and I want to translate these into ethical principles that help me get a specific guidance or direction when it comes to answering questions on the exam. So service, I know the principle of service is about putting the needs of others before your own. It's about commitment to helping people address social problems. It doesn't mean you have to work for free, but it does mean that your primary motivation should be to make a positive impact on the lives of clients in the community. This code encourages us to do pro bono services as a way of demonstrating this commitment. As many of you know, you've been in my courses and programs, and I practice service strong. This is probably one of the values that I can definitely point to and show it how it applies to my actual program. I have tons of people that I've hired, that I brought on, that I try to help and share opportunities with. I also have let people into my boot camp. I have a certain number that I allow into my boot camp for free each and every month. If those of you have participated in my boot camp, instead of paying full price, you get a significantly reduced price. So I make sure my courses and programs are reasonable. This is an example of me providing service in this field of social work, although I'm doing test prep. So providing pro bono services, giving people the opportunity to tap in at a reduced rate is how I demonstrate this code, just to give you some concepts. And I would do the same thing. I would go through service, social justice, dignity, the worth of a person, integrity. As you can see, lots of information. And some people might say, oh, that's just too much. Again, you know what you need. Some people need all the bells and whistles. Some people just need the whistle, whoop, and they got it. So this is an idea of how I would study if I really had a hard time understanding code of ethics and how I would break it down. Now, while the entire code of ethics is important, the ASWB tends to focus. Look, guys, the ASWB tends to focus on specific standards related to social workers' direct responsibility to clients. So think about that. I always tell you guys, like when it comes to the DSM-5, why study the whole DSM-5? They're not likely asking you about elimination disorders or voyeurism and all this other stuff. There's certain things in this code, in the DSM-5 that you know they're gonna ask you about. So you need to study that. It's the same thing with the code of ethics.
Stop guessing. Start thinking like the exam.
So now when we deep dive into these standards, commitment to clients, self-determination, informed consent, you want to write down these notes. This is where I take my pen and paper and I'm jotting down the notes and the information. Although I see it here on the screen and I can listen to it, because remember guys, the course is audio, is visual. That's what I'm making sure that you guys have. But it's also tangible because you can write down the information yourself or you can print it off. If you need to print this slide off or print the information off, it's absolutely, you can do print screen, you can do all types of fancy stuff to make sure you get it. But it's really, really important that you understand these concepts. So when you're going through all of this code of ethics, take your time. This is the section, there's no need in speeding through it. So if you're doing a 15-minute section, you'll want to read through it in its entirety. And then we're going to talk about ethic decision-making models. I probably wouldn't even get into that. I would stick with the beginning part for the first 15 minutes of my study session, lock and load, make sure I have a thorough understanding of it, review my note cards, and then later on that day, I will come back and I will probably pick up with ethical decision-making models. And I will go through the different steps and then the action on how to actually do that, because this is going to help me apply the information to the exam. And then of course I have tips all throughout. When a question asks us for first or next step in an ethical dilemma, the answer is often related to gathering more information, consulting the code of ethics, or seeking supervision. That's going to be ding, 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 ding. Those are some pointers that I would need to know if I'm answering a question. Direct action is usually not the first step unless there's an immediate safety concern. All right. And then I go to tell you how ethics appear on the ASWB exam. So we go through the ethics, how it appears on the exam. If it's a best, most, first, next question, I show you how that looks. If there's an ethical dilemma question, I tell you how that looks. If it's a boundary issue, a confidential question. So as you can see, guys, this course gives you something that no other course is giving you. I'm actually showing you not only the content this go around, I'm showing you how it looks if you're getting a certain style question or you're going over certain information. So that way you can actually apply what you're learning in the moment and not struggle on, okay, I got the information, but what do I do next? This is the what you do next. All right, an exam tip. When answering ethical questions, always have the NASW Code of Ethics in the forefront of your mind. The correct answer will be the one that is most consistent with the values, principles, and standards of the code. So when you master the NASW Code of Ethics, it is essential if you're trying to pass this test. No ifs and buts about it. So once you finish this, then you will go here and you will complete the lesson. That is if you completed this entirety. I know most of you need to go back and watch it, so you didn't complete it. But let's say you did. That's what you would do. And then we're moving on to the second section. Think like the exam. Before you take this quiz, see how this shows up on test day. Guys, I have to emphasize how important this is. I didn't build this in the course because I didn't have nothing to do and I wanted to give you guys a lot of information. I see you guys taking course after course after course after course, and they're giving you half information, or they're giving you information that you need to know, but you're memorizing it and you don't know how to apply it. So this is the separate key where I'm making sure before you move forward in my program, you know how to apply it. So I will tell you, if you're rushed and you're cramming in, you want to tap in, because I have a process that's going to show you what to do if you only have 3 to 6 weeks to test. I have something if you only have 6 to 8 weeks, and if you have 8 to 12 weeks, how you can deep dive and finish the whole course. But you definitely want to lock in and get as much as the information as you can, because it's hella helpful. I'm telling you, there's no way you can't win and pass after completing this course. And this is an example of showing you how. A lot of times I talk about my programs and I show you little snippets, but you've never walked through to see exactly how that would look if you were working and doing the questions. All right. So the core concept here is the NASW Code of Ethics provides ethical standards for social work practice across the 6 corporate values. So at this point, this is when you would start listing those 6 core values. Don't quiz me right now, because I got my brains can't think right at the moment. So don't, you guys gonna ask me in the chat why you didn't name the 6 corporate values, because I didn't want to. All right, I gotta think and go back. All right, so you want to knock out those core 6 values real quick. And then it says how the exam tests this. The exam presents as an ethical dilemma and asks for the best response. The question tests your ability to apply those code principles, especially when you're looking at the values conflict, like client self-determination versus duty to protect. That's a huge one. I'm hitting on that all day in boot camp. I actually have a lunch and learn that's about to start up in about a good hour. So I'm getting ready to prepare for that. And I'm going to make sure my people truly understand that, because there's a big difference between self-determination and duty to protect. We have to be mindful of that in social work. Clients have the right to decide, but we also have the duty to protect them. So it's a fine line, and you have to understand that and know how to apply it and what it looks like. So think about it in a scenario. A social work discovers that a colleague is billing for sessions that did not occur. The colleague is a close friend and a mentor. The social worker is unsure whether to report. What would the exam ask you to do? That is what you're going to do in this question. Exam, what do you have to do? You see this question and we hit with it all the time. But according to the exam, what do we have to do? Think about it for a moment. Just take a few seconds and think. All right, so you had a chance to kind of like look at this question, and it says pretty much a social worker discovers that a colleague is billing for sessions that didn't happen. The colleague is a close friend and a mentor. So that's what they're throwing you out. Just think about it. A close friend or a mentor. Snitches get stitches or nah? What are we thinking when it comes to ethics? What are we thinking? Should you tell on them? Do you confront them? Like, what are we doing? This is a colleague, somebody you're really close to. They mentor you. They're giving you all the help, support, and all that stuff you need. What are we doing? And it says here, think about it. A social worker discovers that the colleague's billing for sessions that didn't happen. The colleague is a close friend and mentor, and the social worker doesn't even know what to do. They don't know if they should report it or they should just kind of like, go to them directly and address the situation. What does the code tell us to do? All right, so the next question says, what would the exam ask you to do in this best case scenario? What is it asking us to do? Let's click on it. The best response is report through formal channels, either the supervisor, compliance officer, or a licensing board. NASW 2.11c says discuss with the colleague first only when feasible and likely to be productive. So let me ask you, if somebody's been billing sessions that didn't take place, you going to them and talking to them, is it feasible? And is it going to be productive? What can take place from that? Nada. You right. This person's already been doing it. It's already illegal behavior that's been taking place. So with confirmed fraud, the STEM says discovers, not suspect. It says they discovered this. So we already know it's taking place. They're not assuming, they're not making any assumptions, they're not suspecting it's taking place. They know the darn thing's happening. That condition fails. So it's not it's not feasible and it's not productive. So in that case, because fraud is illegal, it's ongoing, and it's harmful to the clients, we need to act through appropriate formal channels. The exam penalizes answers that prioritize loyalty over client protection. So in this case, we just gonna have to take our stitches because we snitching all day. We have to, all right? So the key verb in this test is discovers, confirms, that means report. Suspects or notices, we wanna gather a little bit more data first, So that's pretty much what we're doing. And this is an easy way that we work through ethics and we rock through ethics in my course and in my program. So as you can see, this was a quick question, thinking like the exam. We went through the code. You can go through all this. And this is just one module. Like, I would suggest just doing a module a day just to make sure you really honed in and you got it and you really understand it. It's about a 3-minute read, as you can see, because if you listen to it, it's 3 minutes and 43 seconds, but you want to take your time and deep dive. So that's why I'm suggesting 15 to 20 minutes per lesson, knocking through some questions and going from there. And then of course, we're going to go back to the course, and that is pretty much what we were under is the Code of Ethics, which had those 12 sections. So now that we're done with that, you can see I checked it off. So we're done. Now you might say, okay, you know what? I think I have a better understanding of ethics, but I do want to kind of rock out and see what's going on when it comes to technology, AI, and ethics or something. So this is pretty much, you're going to go through technology and ethics. You can listen to it again.
Why this matters
always, if you want to hear it. Why this matters on the LMSW exam. So it talks about, from a generalist social work's perspective, what it looks like and why this concept matters. It talks about the digital divide and access issues, some ethical use, some social media boundaries with clients, AI tools and social work. How do we use AI? Like, what are the benefits? What are the risks? You need to know all this as a mental health professional. So as you maneuver through the course, you see all this. We're going to give you scenarios, and then we're going to give you the best response, like what type of answer you should be giving or responding to when it comes to that type of question. And then it tells you the wrong answers. These are the things you would not do. And then we have some key terms, because you need to understand what algorithmic bias is, dual relationships, informed consent, digital divide, like these terms you might not be familiar with. So it's good to kind of know and good to kind of hone in on it. And we always tell you where to reference and where to get your information from, because we're not just throwing stuff in there. We want to make sure you know how to go back and search it to make sure it's legit. All right. So here goes the core concept, how to test samples, and then you think like the exam. We get to do the reveal logic like we did. I'm telling you, this is game changer right here. The game changer. And then of course you get to take the quiz. This one is a 20-question quiz. You get to maneuver through it. Look at that. A social worker is working with an involuntary client who has court ordered to attend therapy. The social worker should, and what do we do? So you answer those questions, you click on it, go to the next one. This is pretty much how the course is built and how it's set up. And I'm just showing you how we knocked out ethics in that quick period of time. I'm sure you were able to learn something about this category in ethics, probably a lot more than what you've learned in other courses or going through it and just reading or just listening to people speak. I want to make sure that you can actually utilize it and go from there. As you can see, we got some little fancy dancy fancy flashcards. So if you want to just focus on a certain content area, again, as you can see, this is not aligned, so we gotta, fix it. Some of you might put a little message in and be like, wait a minute, that card didn't go with that. Some of the cards are being revamped as we update it, because again, this is a new program, so we're always working on it, updating it, and doing what we need to do. But this is a good way to kind of look at it. If you want to know here, you click on it and it kind of helps you answer the questions. And then you can say, was it medium? Then that means you need to review it again in about 3 days. If it was easy, we can give it about a week or so. But if it was hard, we need to make sure we reiterating that within the next few days and going over information. So these will be updated for sure. I will share with you, it's going to be updated like my Prep Plus, but we're going to have topic areas like research, community, like certain hard hitting flashcards that you need to know for those subject areas. So definitely stay tuned. We're always updating our content, always making sure that it's state of the art, because you guys are making an investment. We want to make sure we're giving you everything you need to pass and level up and knock this exam out the water. Of course, when you're done and you're finished with the whole course, we do got some fancy cheat sheets too. I gotta go here because we just finished doing ethics. So I'm going to go down right here to where it says cheat sheets, and let's see, we talked about ethics a little bit. Let's see, we got a cheat sheets in here. Yeah, you guys saw that. You thought I was going to pass it, right? You saw it? We got a whole lot. But the mandated reporting and legal thresholds, that's a really important one. So this is how we would study. We already said we'll go over that content area about 15 minutes. We went through the exam logic, how it would appear. That one specifically didn't have questions, but I would probably pull up a cheat sheet, print it off, take it with me to work, and then probably just make sure that I'm able to understand and deep dive. So we talked about ethics. Let me just see. This is the ethical NASW Code of Ethics. This is what it looks like. This is a cheat sheet. We ain't giving you that little cheat, just little drop down stuff. This stuff looks good. It makes you want to study and make sure you have the information at hand. So let's just make it larger. We're going to look at this section, remind you all day that it's about 35 to 36% of the exam. We already discussed the core values. So you're going to print this off to remind yourself what all the core values are. Then you're going to also understand when it comes to ethics priority sequence, what do we do sequentially? Safety, life, always first. The last thing we're doing is intervention. So it reminds you that. It gives you situations where you can act. It tells you about the TARS off. So this is an easy cheat sheet that I will print this off and carry it around with me to make sure that I really understand it. And then I would say, you know what? I think I'm done today with ethics. I think I'm going to just wrap it up and I'll leave it, make sure I process the information and go from there. All right. So I hope this was hella helpful for you. What I'll be doing in my next video is probably sharing with you the diagnostic dashboard, which is a game changer. This is for my LCSW test takers, where we're going to be breaking down the different diagnoses to make sure you really understand the information. And see, look at that. So we're going to be taking some time to really go through some diagnoses. So in the comment section, make sure you hit me and say, look, ethics, tell me which ethic, which value you feel most comfortable with and most competent in explaining and going through. Let me know if this made sense, how the course looks to you. If you feel like it's something you would want to do, something you want to invest in or work with to help you pass and level up the exam, definitely let your girl know. We have coupons and discounts going, especially if you're a member of the YouTube channel. Right now, we're running an additional $50 off the course. And remember, you work with us until you pass, baby. Yes, ain't no keep investing here, there. You invest in the course, we're gonna continue to work with you and go from there. And check it out, because a lot of you that's in the course already, I've been messaging you to get some feedback and just to see what's working for you and what you might want to see changes done with and what sections and so forth. Lock in. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys' support. Don't forget to put it in the comment section and give me your thoughts now. I know you guys be putting the comments and messages in there, so go ahead and keep your girl locked in and let me know. Wish you the best. Love you guys. Talk to you in the next one.